to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakwadash. I give double honors to the apostles of GMS that rule of wow, and peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect out there. Bear with me one moment. So what you see here is bear with me one moment. So what you see right here is a laughing matter, a mockery of what Yahweh does, and what idols, what happens to people who worship idols. As you can see, more than 1,300 pilgrims died during the Hajj. It says at least, what is this? The Mecca Rock, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. You know, you understand a lot of those Muslims, they go out there and they go worship this stone. And a lot of times, you know, you can trick them up. It's easy. You know, ask them prior to the Catholic Church before Muhammad, what did they worship? And it goes back to, you know, the moon god. You know, it's easy to, you know, cut these so-called Arabs in this Muslim Islam religion. But where, you know, this thing's been going on for years and years and years, and it seemed like their power, what they believe, their religion, their God, which they believe hasn't got it right yet. You know, where was Allah? Where was their power when, with this heat? You know. Now, I got a couple of scriptures just to back this. So this is gonna be real quick. So I'm going to Wisdom Solomon 13, one of my favorite scriptures. This is in the GNT. It says the foolishness of nature worship. So it says, one moment. So Wisdom of Solomon 13:1. Anyone who does not know Yahweh is simply foolish. And we understand, you know, the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with the elect, is very blessed because we know Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and the other nations wasn't chosen. We were chosen by Yahweh, and we've been redeemed by Yahushua. So it says, such people look at the good things around them and still fail to see the living power. They have studied the things he made, but they have not recognized the one who made them. Instead, they suppose that the gods who rule the world are fire or wind or storm or the circling stars or rushing water or heavenly bodies. People were so delighted with the beauty of these things that they thought they must be gods, but they should have realized that these things have a master, and that he is much greater than all of them, for he is the creator of beauty, and he created them. Since people are amazed at the power of these things and how they behave, they ought to learn from them that their maker is far more beautiful, more powerful. And unfortunately, these messages were for Israelites, which took to idol worship and wanted to be like the heathen. So this is the great message to be learned from. You know, if our people, which believed in these idols, and they got confounded, mainly, you know, this is the reason why, you know, we've been put in captivity. So, you know, somebody want to come back, well, you know, look at you niggas, look at you Hispanics, look at you Spics. Well, the reason why we over here, because we turned our back against Yahweh. We were like a whore. We went a whoring for other idols. We wanted to be like the heathen. So he punished us, kicked our asses. And he said, it says, since people are amazed at the power of these things, how they behave, they ought to learn from them that their maker is far more powerful. When we realize how vast and beautiful the creation is, we are learning about the Creator at the same time. But maybe we are too harsh with these people. After all, they have been really wanted. Well, we'll jump down to the point. The foolishness of idolatry. So it says, but the most miserable people of all are those who rest their hopes on lifeless things. Now, we understand since the heathen weren't chosen, they were given the idols. You can read that in Deuteronomy 4:19. So the Lord basically let the heathen, that's their type of hope. That's their, their fate, and they build their courage through lifeless things. That's how Yahweh set it up. But He chose in Israel to conduct and to rule over the world, which we were supposed to, but we fell. But ultimately, it was all a learning lesson for when we get the kingdom. We will really understand the law, statute, commandments, and we will be like gods. So it says, let me see, who worship things that have been made by human hands, images of animals artistically made from gold and silver, or some useless stone carved by someone years ago. A skilled woodworker may saw down some suitable tree, carefully strip off the bark, and then, with skillful craftsmanship, make from it an object that will serve some useless purpose. He will take the leftover pieces and use them as firewood to cook a meal that he can sit down to enjoy. But among that scrap wood, he may take one piece that isn't good for anything. May be it's crooked and full of knots, and carefully carve it in his leisure time, using spare moments to shape it into the crude image of a person or maybe of some worthless animal. He paints all over with red, covering up every flaw in the work. Then he prepares a suitable place in the wall for it and fastens it in place with iron nails. And this is talking about forming idols. He careful to keep it from falling because he knows it's only an idol and needs help. It cannot help itself, but he is not ashamed to pray to this lifeless thing about his marriage, his children, and his possessions. And that's what these people do across the world. And I could be wrong, but I've heard to get a plane ticket fare from America to see the Mecca stone, it's roughly $10,000 for a round trip. So it says, it is weak, but he prays to it for health. It is dead, but he prays to it for life. And a lot of people lost his life due to the heat. So where was the protection? It has no experience, but he prays to it for help. It cannot walk, but he prays to it for a successful journey. His hands have no power, but he asks it to help him in business and making money and in his work. But again, as you saw, where was the protection? And I bet they were bowing them heads down for all sorts of things. So a smaller count on what Yahweh did to our people here. Well, here during the past when we were sojourning in the desert to get which Yahweh was leading us into the land of Israel. And I'm gonna get to the point. It starts at verse 21. And it's funny because Elder Hawad from North Carolina, Raleigh, sent me this. I've seen it before, but he sent it to me again. I was like, yo, matter of fact, let me do a small little lesson on this. So it says Exodus 13 and 21. And that's why I said we're blessed, because as he protected us with a chariot during the ancient times, he's ultimately protecting us through Yahweh Shah during these times. So, and the Lord went, and really that chariot was Yahweh Shah. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. And that was the chariot that protected Israel from the heat, But again, the point of this lesson was where was their protection from that Mecca or Allah, Just a little question. But well, that was it. Lord's will, you was edified. Shalom.